Pretty baby, pretty baby. I've been waiting for so long, girl, yeah, to be with you alone, girl, yeah, yeah. Move your back against the wall, girl. Don't be afraid, won't let you fall, girl, no, no. You don't have to feel the pressure. We got all the night, no stress, girl. I will make you scream.
Hello, butterflies, and welcome to Butterfly Tea Time Tuesday. So glad that you all could join us. I hope that you have your coffee and your tea ready. Today, we're going to be doing a warrior story share. I'd like to introduce you to Antoinette Bird Curie. She's very prominent in the lupus community for all her works with her company Live Love Juice. I'm sure many of you have seen it in our different lupus groups. Her story is really inspiring, and I just really wanted to share it with you guys today. Welcome, Antoinette. Thank you for being here.
Hi. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here. And I have my mug.
Yes, let's see your teacup. Let's see your teacup. Live Love Juice.
Yes, my business.
So tell us a little bit, Antoinette, about your journey with lupus and getting diagnosed and how that was for you, because with every lupus condition, it's such a fingerprint condition that there's just so many differences. So we always like to hear everyone's story in the community.
Yeah. So, well, I was diagnosed with lupus in 2007, and I was 22 at the time. And it was just a lot because I had no idea what was going on with my body. And the reason why I decided to go to the doctor, I went to my PCP first because I know, like, going through lupus and trying to figure out what's going on, you go from doctor to doctor to doctor to doctor, and then you finally get diagnosed.
Yeah.
So when I went to, so when I went to my PCP, I was just telling her, I was like, I'm feeling a lot of fatigue. I'm really tired. And normally I'm active. I was in the fashion modeling industry. So I was always out there doing something. But this particular time, I was just tired, exhausted. I started losing my hair, and I was trying to figure out what was going on. So when I went to my PCP, she did her blood test and everything, and then she was like, "Well, I'm gonna send you to a dermatologist." And I knew why she sent me to a dermatologist because I was having hair loss. So once they sent me to a dermatologist, he did a scalp biopsy, and it came back alopecia areata. So I was like, okay, I know about alopecia because I went to cosmetology school. Okay, I have that now. Cool, whatever. So I'm like, why am I so tired? I'm like, my bones is aching. Like I felt like I was 102 at the age of 22. So I was like, I'm like, what's going on? So I went back to my PCP, and my PCP was like, okay, let's send you to the rheumatologist. So when I went to the rheumatologist and had an appointment with her, she first offhand was like, okay, I know exactly what it is. She was like, you have lupus. So they ran the test, you came back with a positive ANA, and she was like, that's exactly what it is. So after that happened, went back to my PCP because I'm like, okay, now what is lupus? Because I've never heard of it ever in life, like never heard of lupus. And so she was just telling me the things that I will be experiencing as far as like the symptoms, little flare ups, and things like that. And I'm still like, I hear her talking to me, but I'm not taking it in. So, because I'm still in this position, like, okay, I'm 22, I'm young, I'm vibrant, I'm active, I'm doing all this. And now I got to hear her and hear what she's saying. And I'm like, I really don't want to hear all that. So she gave me a pamphlet, went home, whatever, went from there. So after that, yeah, a pamphlet. Yeah. Had a little brochure that said, what is lupus, and had like the symptoms in there and the different kinds of lupus, everything in there. Still didn't understand it because I was in denial. So within the 2 years after that, I was diagnosed. I went through depression because, like I just said, I didn't understand what was going on with my body. I didn't like the way I was feeling. I couldn't be active with my friends like I used to because, this. And, once you hear that you have something like an illness or a disease, it's like, oh my gosh, like I don't want to be around. I don't want to do anything. And it's like, it becomes depressing because you're living this one life before, active and vibrant and doing all this. So now you need to sit down. And then you're 22.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a rude awakening. So I've been through like a lot with lupus. Like after that, I got out of it and I was like, okay, I would always ask why me, why me? And then, after that, I just noticed like, why not me? Like now I could be a voice for other people. And in 2018, I actually, so fast forward to 2018, well, no, 2015, let's say that. That's when my scarring started to happen. And how this happened was I was having hardness under my skin. And it was very important to me. Like after I went through depression, after I went through everything with lupus and trying to figure out what was going on with my body and stuff like that, I decided to get in tune with my body. I decided to understand what was going on. So in 2015, I was just researching, doing stuff. I was like, no, it's not scleroderma because it was hardness under my skin. And like to where I would try to smile, I couldn't smile because it was so hard. And I was like, I don't think it's scleroderma. I was like, I think it's lupus folliculitis. So I went to the doctor. And once I went to the doctor, and this was a different rheumatologist, and he did his test. I ended up getting a biopsy in the inside of my mouth, and it was lupus folliculitis. So if you don't know lupus folliculitis, it's basically the hardness on your skin, and then it causes you to lose fat. So in different areas of my body, I have fat loss. As you can see, I first had it in my face, but I ended up getting plastic surgery and fat transfer to get the fat back in my face. But how this happened was a different dermatologist was putting steroid injections in my face. I was told by the rheumatologist he wasn't supposed to do that. So, mind you, I want to say 3 times. When I went the last time, I was like, do you think it's doing anything? Do you think it's helping me? Do you think it's getting better? He was like, I mean, I don't know. I was like, do you think I should get some more shots today? I mean, I don't know. It's up to you. This is the whole demeanor. He's like, I don't know. I mean, it's up to you. So then I was like, I'm not. And I just walked out. And I was so upset because I ended up paying $75 for no service for from a dermatologist. I really didn't care. And I was like, gosh, like the first 2 times I went there and I wasn't even supposed to have this done to my face. So it caused a scarring. So from 22 to the now 2015 and now to 2015, and like I said before, I was in the fashion industry. And once this happened, I was like, okay, no more pictures. I went back to that 22-year-old self. I was like, okay, no more pictures. I don't want to do any videos. I don't want to be on camera. I don't want to be out. I felt like I was ugly. And I felt like, no one would want to be in a relationship with me. Like it was back to that depression when I was 22 because I didn't like me. I didn't like what I was looking at because this wasn't my normal face. So went through that. Fast forward to 2018. 2018, I was hospitalized for the whole month of March. Ended up having a pulmonary embolism on my right lung, in which I lost half of my right lung. And I had caught the flu when I was in there. I had to get 2 blood transfusions. And I got down to like 103 pounds. I was just like lifeless. I was, I was headed to the ICU, but they decided not to put me in there. And yeah, the doctors didn't think I was going to make it. And to be honest, I stopped fighting. I was tired of it. I was tired of going through like everything I went through because it's like I got healthy for a good amount of time, then all of a sudden I'm hit till I'm in the hospital and like I just wanted to give up. I was tired.
Yeah.
And then I had that reminder I had a friend that came in and it reminded me of who I am and how strong of a being I am, and how much I am a light to other people, and kept on reminding me, like, you already know this. You do affirmations every day. Why haven't you been doing affirmations while you're laying in this bed? And I'm like,
Oh,
oh, yeah. So I'm like, okay, let me speak my affirmations again. Like, I'm beautiful, I'm strong, I can get through this. Like, I'm powerful. Like, this is nothing to me. Like, I'm leaving the past behind. Like, just started saying things. After I started saying that, like, after a week later, I ended up I was like, okay, I'm ready to get out of here. I started doing my walks around the hospital like I was supposed to do. And I just started getting healthier. And I say all that to say this: what you think is what you are, and your words are powerful. So if I'm sitting here in the hospital bed saying, I can't do this, I'm tired, I'm ready to go, my body is going to say the same thing. And when it comes to your health, mind, body, and spirit is all aligned. So if your mind is out of whack, your body's out of whack, and then your spirit's going to be out of whack. So that's
absolutely.
why I try to preach to people that you have to be in tune with self, and that means mind, body, and spirit, and just know your body, because you see how I was, like, I was thinking negative. I was thinking so negative. I was over it. Blah, blah. I was getting worse. Every day I was getting worse. But when I started speaking light back into my body and back into myself and back into my mind and spirit, I came out. And yeah, so it's been years now, and I'm in remission. I'm all natural and medication free, and just thankful. I'm just thankful. I'm thankful that I'm here. Thankful that I'm able to be a light to people as well.
Absolutely. And you are such a light and an inspiration in the community.
Thank you.
What would you, Antoinette, having battled this and gotten yourself out of the depression and just the feelings of letting go, what would you tell other warriors on the hard days, on the really tough days that they're feeling that way?
So I would tell them, just think of a place of peace. Think of a place of peace. Think of what brings you happiness. It could be your dog, your cat. It could be somewhere out in the world. It could be, even if you're thinking about being in the beach, think of something like that and just think positive. Know that you can get through this. Like, no, even though you're feeling like poo, you're looking like poo, whatever it may be, like, just start saying in your head, okay, wait, I do feel like poo, I look like poo, but these are things that I can control. So if you can control these things, control them, change them. But you can't worry about things that you can't control and you can't change. I think we worry about so much things that we can't change, that we're making ourselves sick, and we're being stressed on that. And we just keep thinking about that over and over again, rather thinking about the things that you can change,
Yeah, and
you
our
know?
body totally receives that. Like whatever we're putting into our body, whatever we're thinking, we're telling ourselves, it's a lot more powerful than we really give that credit, because that's the voice
Right.
in our head that's like directing and leading our body.
Yep. So if you say it, and so to my lupus warriors, if you say it and believe it positively, positive, positive vibes, energy, anything you're thinking of positive will come back to you, basically, is what I'm saying. So you just have to continue to just fight and keep pushing. I know it's easy said and done, because I've been there, done that, but your words are powerful, and I can't stress that enough, because it really is.
And they're the words that you're surrounded by 24 hours a day. And sometimes we
Hmm.
don't realize like how many little bad, negative, horrible things that we say to each ourselves that we would never say to another person, but we're soaking those words into our spirit and our heart daily, minute to
Yeah.
minute. And when you're
And
working on that, you really have to like try to switch those words slowly but surely and catch yourself in the moment and change that thought. And we do have the power to do that.
we do. And stop being so hard on ourselves. We're already hard on ourselves. Stop doing that.
So, Antoinette, for lupus warriors that are just getting diagnosed, maybe they're just starting to get involved in the community, is there anything that you wish you had known about lupus before doing all your own research?
how reckless, how such a cruel disease it is. Like going in, I did not think that it was as bad as it is. And it was crazy because certain people would tell me, like when I was feeling down and stuff like that, some people would say, well, at least you don't have cancer. And I'm like, it's kind of like the same thing. We have to go through chemo. We have
Yeah.
to get, different medications that's going to help lift us up, or, different medications that's going to suppress one issue but may cause another issue. Like we continue to go through these things too. So it's like, I wish I would have known like how cruel it was. Because it is a cruel disease. It really is. And it affects everybody differently.
Yeah, but maybe it worked out for the best, because not knowing that, you were able to just kind of learn and take it in baby steps. So it would probably be really overwhelming for you finding out how cruel it was at 22, rather
Yeah.
than digging yourself out. And I'd love to talk more about what you're doing with your company, about just like living very well and eating very many like anti-inflammatory foods and just having such a clean diet. Because as we know with lupus, a lot of flares are triggered by inflammation.
Absolutely. Yep. I actually talk about that too. So a little bit more about like what it is, what you eat. But yeah, just a little bit about my company. It's Live
Yeah.
Love Juice. It's my baby. I
I'm
birthed
wearing the
her.
color. I'm wearing your Live Love Juice color today, if you noticed.
Hey,
Your
see
lime
the
neon
support
green. It's really
already.
pretty. Love
See
it.
the support already. So
Yeah.
I birthed my baby in 2016 after going to Dr. Sabi's Usha village in Honduras. And that's actually how I learned a lot of the herbs that I take for myself and that I have on my website that has really helped me through this whole journey of just natural healing. Like I said, I am 100% natural. I don't take any medications at all. And I loved it. I've learned so much, and I've done so much research on my own because it was important to me. I'm like, I know there's not other herbs and vegetables and supplements out there, and vitamins and minerals that we
Yeah.
can start taking that will help us. And I knew that I didn't like to take the Plaquenil because the Plaquenil will make me tired. And then taking the steroids, when I had to take steroids and having flare ups, it was suppressing the issue right then and there. But then I was like, in the long run, I'm probably going to have to get, other things done health wise because of the steroids, even though it's helping this, but it's affecting this. So I just was like, okay, what medication or what herbs, what vitamins, what minerals can I start taking that will help me? So I started to look that, and I was on blood thinners because of the blood clot that I had on my right lung. And I started looking at certain herbs that I have on my website, and I was like, okay, this is a blood thinner. So why not continue to take the blood thinner medication that I'm on now, but then wean myself off, but add this because I know this will help. So I just started doing that, and then I just started like, I don't know, just all the stuff that I carry, like or do, like the sea moss or the bladderwrack and the burdock root. It helps with inflammation. It helps with their digestive system. It helps with brain health. It helps with blood purifying. So all those things, and it's not just for helping lupus warriors out here. It's for everybody, even if you are healthy.
Absolutely. So, what do you think, Antoinette, are some of the trigger foods that cause inflammation? We're going to be having this conversation later this month
Mhm.
about like trigger foods, and so we were talking a lot, me and the girls, and again, the girls aren't here today. Shantae is in the hospital right now, you guys. She's had to have some fluid drained from her brain, and she's getting diagnosed with what caused that with her lupus. And we'll be updating you guys. But we've been talking a lot about the nightshades. So I don't know if you guys have heard about nightshades, but they're known to be highly triggering foods for inflammation. And those are going to be potato, tomato, eggplant, and bell peppers. I was really surprised about the bell peppers. What do you think about all that?
So my answer to all that, and it's like I looked at, of course, doing my own research and trying to figure out what's going on. like we said before, everyone's body is different. And I know how it says the tomatoes, the potatoes, the eggplants, I know I'm leaving something off, but
And of
whatever.
course,
Like
dairy. Absolutely, any dairy causes
I'm gonna
inflammation.
talk on that. I'm gonna talk on that. So like the ones that you just said, it's crazy because I'm fine with taking those. Of course, I do it in moderation. Like, but I love tomatoes on my pasta. I love tomatoes on my salads, whatever it may be, and it doesn't affect me. But the thing is, like what I'm about to say now, everything you have to do as far as eating, it needs to be in moderation.
Yeah.
And you have to know what works for your body and what doesn't. So, inflammation foods, dairy, cheese, milk. Oh, I said dairy. Sorry. Pastas, breads. I know I'm forgetting something. I always say this. Um, I can't think of the other ones right now. But those main things, milk, dairy, cheese, bread, pasta, those main things, they're full of sugar. Most of those things are full of sugar. So once you have sugar just sitting in your system, sitting in your digestive system, it's not gonna work with your body because it's caused flare-ups and it is basically inflammation. So if you can rid your body of anything that causes inflammation, then that your disease will start to reverse. I'm
Yeah.
not a doctor. Let me say this. I'm not a doctor. I just preach on what has worked for me and what has worked for my customers as well. But inflammation, if you stay away from foods that cause inflammation, like, oh, I forgot to say this, alcohol, sugars.
Yeah.
Alcohol, sugars. Like me, I like to drink wine. I like to have my cocktails sometimes. But everything that I do is in moderation. And it's about learning your body. So, like, say I have bread today. You had bread, but you know that that bread caused inflammation. It didn't cause inflammation for me. So it's like you have to just be in tune with your body. You have to see what triggers your body. You have to see what works basically. And I think we don't take a
Absolutely.
lot of time out to figure out the things that work for us. I think we're so quick to go to our doctors, and which we should, we go to our doctors and figure out like, hey, this is happening to me. Okay, well, let me give you this medication
Yeah.
without really seeing ourselves, because the doctors only know what goes on with you when you tell them.
Yeah.
So it's important for you to do
And
your
medicine
own
is a
research.
practice.
Yes,
Medicine's a practice.
you exactly. You It's up to you to do your own research and up to you to figure out what your body needs and what it doesn't need. Like sometimes my body calls me to have salmon. Sometimes it says no. Sometimes it says chicken. Sometimes it says no. But certain, you get what I'm saying? Like certain things you have to just learn.
Yeah, and everybody's so different. I think that that's why the food diary, especially when you're first starting to figure out what is triggering different flares and different
Mm-hmm.
reactions in your body, you should totally
Mm-hmm.
make a Live Love Juice like food journal. That would be so cute.
Okay. We
Just
didn't
writing
talk about
down
that.
reactions and
You said
what
writing
works
who?
for you, but everybody's so different. I mean, lupus is a fingerprint disease. I always call it that. It affects different internal organs for everyone. People are flared by different things. Like Plaquenil was terrible for you. Delibra like loves that one if I'm getting that correct.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about just experimentation kind of and seeing
Mm-hmm.
what works for your particular body and your particular case. And like I
Absolutely.
might not be able to eat tomatoes, but you may be able to eat tomatoes. So just
Mm-hmm.
paying attention and listening. I love that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what
I'm
is your
so happy we
favorite?
touched on that.
Yeah. So what is your favorite form of self-care? We talk about a lot of self-care in Lupus Glitter.
Yes, girl, I'm all about self care. So I
Yeah.
got so much. Because that's like I just said, that's what I preach to everybody is mind, body, and spirit. So my form of self care, and I'm actually in my meditation room right now. I like to meditate. So I take time out to meditate. I feel like we're so busy. We're always so busy, and we don't get that time to just be still and
Yeah.
be one within yourself. And I really feel like that's so important when you're dealing with mental health issues and like illnesses and diseases. It's okay to sit and it's okay to not be okay. And if we learn that, I think that's how we can move forward and just go on to be stronger. I like to also go outside in nature. I like to ground. I'll take my shoes off, walk on the ground, and be in one with nature and do my little earthing. That's how I'm connected back to. That's how I'm connected back to nature. I'm a tree hugger. I love hugging a tree. Just being full of gratitude. Being full of gratitude. You know, just being thankful and telling the universe that how thankful I am and how I'll like my plants. I have plants everywhere. I have 17 plants, babies. And you know, just grabbing them, just telling them, oh my gosh, I'm thankful for you. Thank you for the oxygen. Just being full of light and gratefulness. And you know, once you feel like all that and how grateful that you are, you're able to give that out into the world and be of service to people. So yeah, I do a lot of journaling when my mind's all over the place or I'm not feeling good, I'm in my negative space. I do journaling. I love to read, just being more conscious.
I like poetry. I recently got into like reading my poetry live on poetry nights. It's just
nice.
There's a lot of little tips and tricks that we can use just to kind of keep our heads in a good space. And I think there's always a good recommendation. And I think that your brand is really in a merriment with nature, with all of the ingredients that you're using that are naturally found in nature. And my skincare is the same thing. It's all anti-inflammatory. So I think anti-inflammatory and just eating more healthy and using skincare that's all anti-inflammatory is just altogether good to take some of that inflammation down.
Because people, what they don't understand is like what you put in the outside of your body goes inside your body. Yeah. So like your skincare is all natural. You're putting this on your skin. Your skin's gonna absorb it. You know, so once you have something natural, something good for your body's gonna take heed to that. And so it's just all about knowing, and you know, you are what you eat.
Very true. Like and that. You are who you hang out with. Yes, you are who you hang out with too. That's a really good saying. You are who you hang out with. So Antoinette, tell us where we can find you.
So I'm sure a lot of people are interested. So you can find me. My business page is on Instagram is live.love.juice_. And the website is livelovejuice.net. So you can find any and everything on there that will probably help you on your health journey, whether you're healthy, whether you're growing through it, not going through it, growing through it, and just want a new change for yourself. And the little do you know, you can take medication and you can take natural herbal supplements. It's totally fine. Just figure out what works for you. But yeah, so that's how you find me. If you want to see my personal page and see how I'm still living, loving, and thriving despite this cruel disease, it's Lovebird. It's LOV_BYRD.
I love that. And I love what you're doing for the community. And this girl actually started her own vegan like designer bag company. So super impressive what you've been able to accomplish after being diagnosed. And
thank you.
You keep spreading the light for the community. And where can we find your vegan bags? I think that's an awesome idea.
Thank you. So everybody knows my nickname is Bird. So I had to add that in there a little bit. So the brand is called The Bird Brand. And the Instagram page, thank you. The Instagram page is Bags by Bird, and it's BAGSBYBYRD. And the website is Bird Brand. It's BYRDBRAND.com.
Yeah, and we will include that in the comments, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this. I love to highlight different lupus warriors that are persevering, advocating for themselves, and shedding light into the community. So until next time, thank you so much, Antoinette. Unfollow her in the comments and fly free. Bye bye.